Let me get up in it now, bitch, I'm here to win it now. L-O-G-I-C, I'm feeling free, I'm finna bring it now. If you know the words, take a step back and sing it now. Never thought I'd have to, but I keep the windows tinted now.
Tell me a little bit about The Return and what that song means to you.
Originally, I was gonna make that the first song that came out, but I wanted to do One Day just because it was totally different from everything else. I must even count it as a single, if you will, because that was the more like fun, like positive, or even radio song, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I was like, oh, this will just live on its own. I'll just put it out. Because of that, it's even more impactful, because then, you know, the super underground haters that are like, oh, what is this shit, man? And then The Return comes back, they're like, oh, this is everything. Like, it's just, people are fucking hilarious, man. I loved it. I thought it was like, yo, this is the return of young Sinatra. This is what I do. Don't forget it. And then there's a bunch of shit that I have to, that I kind of want to address and talk about on this song.
This one kind of has like a old school Kanye vibe. You referenced Kanye in '08 in one of the lyrics.
Yep.
Was that an inspiration for you for the song?
No, Six just made the beat and it was just super hard. What was an inspiration? I don't know. Straight young Sinatra, like my own self, just like boom bap, hip hop, just bars. I just kind of wanted to go in and say how I felt. I did the first verse, and then before I did that, I had gotten that idea. I get up when I'm down, which references Dear God from one of the earlier mixtapes, which I had a good time. It was really fun doing that, reminiscing on it.
Yeah, it was actually one of my favorite songs on that mixtape. So.
Thank you. I get up when I'm down. Had enough when I drown. When shit rough, I get tough. And when I'm beaten to the ground, I get up. One thing that I loved about The Return is like, I just say the realest shit every time. Like, hey, yo, motherfucker Trump, said that shit on my last album, but you wasn't tapping in. Fuck a mumble, let's make America rap again. Industry don't give a fuck about rapper, what's happening. Fuck a hype beast bitch, now who's seeing me? Nobody reports the music, this shit is rap TMZ nowadays. Everyone divided, so I collided with headlines. Preach that, go ahead boy, now preach that. Just my stance on things, but the biggest thing is like the rap game. Like, you know, what's going on, how everything's like TMZ, you know what I'm saying? Supposedly reputable hip hop publications acting like TMZ and putting shit about my personal life out there, and then people commenting on it. It's crazy, but that's what hip hop has become. And the reason it's become that is because hip hop is so influential. It's the biggest genre now. So before, it was pop, it was Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears and what's up with them and this, because everybody cared. And nobody in the mainstream really gave a shit about hip hop. But now that we've pushed ourselves to the forefront, now you got all these people who are, you know, want to report on it and talk about it, and it has nothing to do with our culture, and it has everything to do with money, clicks, ad revenue, streaming, you know, which, all right, more power to you, man.
But unfortunately, the culture gets lost in the way of the headlines.
It's like everything but the music. It's like, yeah, but what did he say? But did you hear what so-and-so said about him? And then he was like, catch this fade. And then they said he was going to fight and he fucked his bitch and blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, that's going on, man. But how was his album? Like, was his album good? Are we even going to talk about the album? But people don't want that no more, man. That's why it's like I don't make music for publications. I make music for true connoisseurs, journalists, lovers of hip-hop, of music, and first and foremost, the fans. But we all get into it. You know, everybody wants to know what Kanye's doing right now, if he's eating spaghetti or this or that or whatever the fuck. Like, it's just, we care.
I think we care, and I also think that it's kind of thrown in the face. So it's like, I think
Yeah, but we feed into it. If we didn't want it, like, there's certain things that we don't want, right? From certain artists. If there's an artist that really isn't that poppin' who says fuck the paparazzi and flicks them off, TMZ's still gonna report it and nobody's gonna talk about it. Right. But if you have Kanye or Drake or so-and-so, could you imagine me? If I was like, yo, fuck you, TMZ, da-da-da, and I started doing all this shit and like taking all these bitches all around and doing all this crazy ass shit and dyed my hair fucking pink and got grills and was standing up on fucking McDonald's counters where you can order and fucking doing freestyles, I'd be all over the fucking place. But I don't play that game. What's the point? Maybe I will one day. And they'll look back on this and everyone's going to know I'm just trolling the shit out of y'all motherfuckers. And they're going to be like, yo, he's doing it. And you know the funniest part is while I'm doing all that shit and they're watching this right now, whether it's a year, 2 years, 5 years, maybe that is my plan, to do some really crazy, wild, reckless shit on purpose to fucking just totally just troll everyone. This video is going to be out, and there's going to be so many people watching it, and there's going to be so many other people who disregard it, don't give a fuck about it, because all they care about is me jumping on McDonald's fucking tables and acting a goddamn fool rather than showing that it was all true, and that's all they cared about. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's wild.
At the end of the day, it's like, what's that movie that he wanted to become a rapper?
Borat?
No, not Borat.
Jamie Kennedy?
Nope. No, he's actually one of the best. Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Snapped, yeah.
And then it's like at that point it was like, wait, is he acting or is this real?
Everybody thought it was real. I thought it was real. I was 17. I thought it was real.
I thought it was
and then
real.
it comes out, and then you're like, wow. But even when you see it, you're like, oh shit, like this dude's fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's all bullshit.
But it's like that kind of blurs the lines of what's real. Is this reality TV? Is this an actual film? Is this like, you know, that's what we're in that point in society where it's like you don't know what's real anymore, what's staged, what's being done just for clicks, how people really feel.
That's why I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I've like disassociated myself the best I can, you know what I mean, while still interacting with my fans. Like it's just so unappealing to me anymore. You know, I'm excited. Getting closer to 10 million, you know, Instagram followers. It's like, wow, that's exciting. But so what? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, so what? I remember when I wanted 1 million so bad, like, because Kid Cudi had 1 million and I had like 100,000, and then I got to 1 million and I was like, oh, who gives a shit about this? It's all about the music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at Cudi. It's all about the music. So
it's a matrix.
Yeah.
It's like the deeper you go in, the more it's like.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean. There's entertainment, that's for sure. The biggest thing is that it can bide your time. You know, if you're on a train or you're on a bus or this or that, like it bides your time. Like it makes shit fly by. But I will say, like writing my new novel that I'm working on, 12-hour plane rides, I've never gone so fast.
Because you're writing the whole time.
Because I'm writing or I'm reading other books and being inspired and all this shit, and it just flies because I'm so excited, I'm so into it. But like the phone, you're just like, all right, you're just droning. People at dinners together, just on their phones. It's fucked up.
I mean, people wake up. That's usually the first thing they do, and it just sets a tone for the whole day. Because then it's like now you're comparing your life to somebody else's life, and then all of a sudden you're feeling from a moment of like I'm not good enough, or I have to aspire to be this, or it's like we just get in the cycle. Like I worry for the next generation because it's like I feel like at least our generation, especially my generation, had.
A long time without
it. A long time of not having that. So at least we
How long? No, I'm just kidding. No, but no, I agree. I still check my phone every day because it's my main source of my time, literally checking the clock. Right. So I'll do that. And now it's text messages. You know, it's not, let me go see what so-and-so's doing or this or that. And it's crazy, man. There's a lot of people who really lead and live their life based on social media. They wake up every day. They travel to places, Rome, and, you know, go to Italy and go to Spain and go to all these places so they can take a fucking picture for other people rather than truly soaking it up and enjoying it. They're like, okay, get this, and I get this angle, and I do this, and, you know, okay, I was sponsored by so-and-so and sent here by this company, so I have to shout them out. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, you're not even enjoying your experience. You're just trying to make people feel like you're really living the life that you're not fully living because you're too worried about.
To make yourself happy.
Everybody's searching for the meaning of life through the cell phone screen, right?
Yeah, that's the realest shit.
You sampled Nina Simone on this.
Yeah.
Satisfy this hungriness. How do you remain hungry after all these years?
I just am, man. Like, I love it. It's a reason why I've got albums going into 2021 because I love it. I love it. I'm at a point where it's like, okay, I was doing boom bap. Then I, you know, try other things, piano and singing, and really truly like orchestrating and bringing in fucking strings and trumpets and this, like all these things, backup singers, and all this wild ass shit. And then you kind of hit the top of it, and you're like, oh wow, okay. Well, now what? And then for me, it's books and film and TV and other things like that. And then there's going to be a time where it's going to be like, well, now what? Well, now I want children, you know? I want a family. And then I'm going to go and do that. And then I'm going to appreciate that and do that. But okay, everybody's good. Kids are like 6. All right. Well, now what? Like, I want to do some other shit. So it's just who I am as a human being and as a person. I'm driven. I've always been driven. What's it called? Self-motivated.
Right. You don't want to be stagnant.
Can't be, man. But it's fucked up because there's times when I like need to relax and I can't. Because like I'll sit down and I'm like, I need to do something. I need to be doing something. Like I'm bored. Like it's like I'm just alone and I'm bored. And I'm like, fuck. But I should be able to just chill. Sometimes I find that my most favorite thing in the world is talking to my friends. And that shouldn't be a bad thing, but I'm like, I want to be doing something though. Like I want to be doing something. It's like you are doing something. You're really engaged in this amazing conversation. Or even being alone and just chilling and sitting down, like smoking a joint. And I'm just smoking and just like, I really want to do something. But it's like, you are doing something. You're smoking a joint. You're looking at the world around you. You're sitting down. You're enjoying yourself. But we're so quick. Everything's like, if you're on your phone, it feels like you're doing something when you're on your phone, but you're not. Because you're looking at other people's do things and you're like this, and oh, I'm looking this up and this is cool and this is fun. But like, take the phone away. What the fuck are you doing? You're not doing anything. And I mean, you could say the same. People could try to say the same thing about like movies and television, but I mean, at least for me, that is a source of entertainment. But for me, it's also a source of inspiration. So I'll watch movies and feel like I'm doing something because I'm like, wow, and I'm always pulling out my phone, taking notes. That's cool. This is cool. I could put this in a song. I could reference this. I could do this. That gives me an idea for a character in my book. So, yeah, I love it.
I mean, as an artist, you're inspired by everything around you, right? So you have to constantly. That is your work. Your work is to be around things that inspire you.
Yeah. So it's okay when I'm not. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. It's like, it's okay when I'm not inspired, even though I'm like, I got to be inspired. But it's like, no, you don't, man. I was talking to Ernest Cline, who wrote Ready Player One. He's one of my favorite authors. And I texted him and was like, yo, man, do you ever feel like you can write? You don't have writer's block. You could write. You could sit down and force yourself to write, but you're just not in the mood. But then you feel bad for not being in the mood. And he goes, bro, he said, I live in that place, my friend. He's like, I literally live there. And he's like, but it's my job to watch movies and play video games as research. He's like, so take your time off, enjoy yourself, have fun. You could have a conversation with, he's like, I have a conversation with my wife or my friends or my this or my that, where they could inspire something that will go into my book. And I was like, wow, I never really thought about it that way. And it's so real. So sometimes taking that time away, it's what you need. I mean, I remember I was reading a Michael Crichton book called Timeline. I'm still reading it right now. And there was a part in the book that has to do with like nitrous oxide and oxygen and shit down to the molecular level. I know this sounds really weird. And just reading that inspired something in my next book that takes up easily 50,000 words of it. You know what I mean? And so, because the next book that I'm doing, it's a sci-fi book, and Supermarket is like 53,000 words. And so this next one will be well over 100,000, which I'm really excited. I'm already 30,000 in, which is dope. And it's only been a few weeks that I've been writing it.
That's insane, bro.
But you said what keeps me going like that? It's because I love it, man. There's people. It's almost like ask somebody why they go to work. Why you go to work? What keeps you going to work? My bills. My fucking that sucks.
But I love that, like, the overall message of, I think, your career and a lot in this album is pushing the new generation to fight through that.
Yeah.
And really find, like, what makes you happy. Love, yeah. Like, don't go through the steps of we're supposed to just live your life and do that. But I feel like if there was one overall theme that I get from your music through all the projects, is that, like, kind of telling the new generation, you don't have to follow these footsteps. Like, really, like, dig deep and figure out what you love, and don't do things just because it's the next step for you to do.
I agree. If somebody was like, what's the biggest, because how do you want to be remembered by your music? It would be by spreading a message of peace, love, and positivity, and letting people know that they can do whatever they want, and they should do all the things that make them happy and not worry about the judgment of others. That's like the number one thing. It is easier said than fucking done. Wash my hands of this negativity. We're the 3 stacks, so fresh, so clean. Who the illest on the scene? Young Sinatra reigns supreme. Yeah, that's my journey.
That's dope. I love that the 3 stacks reference in there.
Yeah.
Because that ties into what we were just talking about. When I interviewed him and we talked about what made the Outkast albums different from one to the other, I asked him, "Oh, is that something you purposely try to do to make every album different?" And he said, "No." He's like, "That was just a reflection of us taking time off and how different we were from high school to after graduating to like the next step." He's like, we were just present in where we were in our lives at that moment, and that made the music different.
And you know what? Not only do I agree with that, but you could take somebody like me who drops 3 albums in less than a year and a half, and I believe that each project sounds different than the other, but it's a testament to where we are in a society of how fast life is going now. Like, how quick trends come and go, and Terrio and dabbing and, like all this like different shit. Like, it's so fucking quick. It's so fast. So that's why it's like, oh shit, you got all these rappers doing some trap shit that inspires me to do a Bobby Tarantino album, but then I'll listen to some other shit. I'll just go back to my roots and listen to some Tribe and want to do some Young Sinatra shit. And then I'll listen to some other shit and want to do this. And it's just, because shit's so fast, you have all these different facets and different sides of me at a time. So I completely agree. I wonder what it would be like if I took time off. But see, here's the thing. The reason why I believe that my albums are so quick and so quality is because I am a professional rapper, as Big Sean has reminded me. And it's like, because of that, like, I make music very well and very fast. And so if I'm in a mood to do a trap joint, I literally go, okay, it's trap bucket right there, boom bap bucket, this goes here. If I know that I'm doing a Young Sinatra for 3 years out, then every time I go in and I'm in the mood to do some boom bap shit, we know that's going on that album.
Right.
And when there's about 10 records on it, I'm like, oh shit, this album's done. Now how do I really polish it and finish it? And that's what I do for pretty much everything. That's why I have so much music. And when I say I have, you know, X amount of unreleased songs and albums and this and that, it's like, yeah, they're not done this second. Some of them are. Some are actually done and just chilling. But for the most part, they're there. Also, I think that sounds change so much. I'm not saying that I'm a trendy rapper or this or that, but there is a sound. You know, a current sound. Like, for example, Young Sinatra doesn't sound like today.
Right.
Does not sound like today.
I wish today sounded more like Young Sinatra.
Yeah, I guess so. But then we'd just be living in the past, right? But anyway.
But now it's the future because you're putting it out.
I guess so. But that was what makes it so special. So it's really crazy. But there are sounds, you know, vibes, raps, hi-hats, traps, 808 drums, like. And if I waited 4 years to release, you know, Bobby Tarantino 2, maybe it wouldn't have been received as well because times changed. But because it was released within the time frame of a similar sound by hundreds of thousands of other artists all over the world, it will be looked back on as like a dope ass project in that time.
When you have projects that you say are going to come out 3 years from now that you made now,
yeah,
how do you make sure that those projects are relevant 3 years from now?
I mean, I started making Young Sinatra 3 years ago, so it's like maybe these albums we're discussing aren't really about relevance then. You know, they may be more, I'm not saying that's Young Sinatra is coming out then, but maybe it's a more boom bap album. Maybe it's totally fucking left and it's fucking piano and singing and guitar and this and that, which is, you know, kind of a universal, timeless sound. And that's one thing. When I think about some of my albums, probably my most timeless album is this one, and to me, is this one and Under Pressure. And I really fuck with The Incredible True Story, but it's just, these are joints you could take in any era and really play them. Bobby Tarantino, they're great, man. But you have so many artists out there that, you know, might do trap shit or this or that, but you listen back and it's like, oh, that was the trap sound of that era. That was the trap sound of this era. But I mean, I definitely got classic albums and I love them and I appreciate them. And who knows, Bobby Tarantino 2 could be considered, and you never know. You can't say what is or isn't a classic. It ain't fucking 10 years yet. You know,
it's just more reflective of that current time.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. But I also think that's why I do so well, because I release music that is as a reflection of the current time, but the way I would do it. You know, and that's what every artist does, right? I mean, typically most artists tend to do that.
But some do it better than others.
I agree, but that's also why I learned not to get stuck on an album. I mean, I recorded. I was working on Under Pressure for like 3 years, 2-3 years. You know. And even though a lot of it can happen quickly, you're still like planning and trying to figure this out and that and all these different things. And I love the fact that I don't take forever on an album because I just have the knowledge and the heart to know when it's done, to say this is done. It's just done. And then you got to figure out a time. I've got more music. Like I have so many albums right now. There's shit I want to release, but I'm like, I don't know how, you know, because I want to do this here and then this here and then this then. And I don't want to release too many albums within each other, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I got to get it out. How the fuck do I get it all out? And then you can't just throw it all out there because then it can't be consumed because it's too much and then it's oversaturation. And then your shit really gets lost and you fuck your shit up. I'm the king, fuck the bling, but just might make you kiss the ring. All these rappers I came up on, I surpassed, I know it's sting now. Don't try to twist my words and turn that into some shit. I love all you motherfuckers, just want to hear you spit. Drop my last shit, the whole wide world applauded it. Game still ain't give me my credit, so I'm audited. I'm heartless like Kanye in 08. Yeah, that's word to no ID. Now that y'all know who I be, I'm calling out Jay-Z to jump up on the track with me and smack the whole industry. Show them what that real rap do. The ball's in your court, Hove. I hope to hear from Guru. I have that song too, waiting for him. It's pretty dope. I met Jay-Z, did I tell you that?
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
A few times.
No. Oh, I gave him a toast
at the Grammys.
At the Grammys in front of everybody, which was really dope. But then I met him and he totally remembered me and was like, "Yo, blah blah blah." And it was him and Beyonce. I hugged Beyonce. That was crazy. It was like hugging the president. You know what I mean? Like
the president of hip hop.
Yeah, the president. Yeah, but that's what it felt like. Like the president, like president of fucking United States of France or whatever, like just this, you know, like a king and queen. It was wild. But they were super cool, really nice. And it was quick, you know what I mean? But it was pretty dope. But I got that song. You know, I'll send it to him. We'll see.
Out of all the rappers, why Jay? Why is he the one that you want to get on a track with?
There's a lot of rappers that I'd like to rap with, but most of them are kind of like extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, like, contrary to what people might think, this shit is so high school, bro. Like, everybody, like, there's artists that I've tried to reach out to that, like, I'll see in person, and they're totally like, yo, what's up? Like, how are you? Blah, 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 whatever. And then I'll be like, oh, and they'll be like, yo, we should work, yo, we should do something. And I'm like, it's cool. And they're like, no, like, for real, dog. Like, I fuck with you. And then they'll, like, tell me about my albums and my lyrics and all this shit. So I'm like, oh, wow, you really do fuck with me. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'll have my manager hit up their manager, because I don't ever like to hit up nobody. Or sometimes I have and be like, hey. And then, like, they'll go ghost and all this other shit. So there's a lot of people, but Jay would be fun just because it's Jay-Z, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like on the Mount Rushmore of living rappers, I think. I think it's like him, Eminem, who else? I mean, he got different people, but he's one of them. So,
have you heard from Guru yet?
Guru? Nah, I don't even know if he heard the song. Who knows? We'll see. But he's a good dude. Guru's dope. I fuck with him.
Shout out to Guru.
Yeah.
Second track on the album.
Yeah.
Everybody Dies.
Yes.